The guy at work asked if I wear lenses. I replied no. Then she added that I have a unit referring to vision. And he looked at my chest and said that it looks more like a triple. Left for a shift to Yakusha. She lived in the field, made friends with a peer of the same age. She spoke Russian quite normally but confused the endings. I go to her room, and her clothes are dried. I say, "Oh, what beautiful cards you have." And she told me, "I still have such a yellow." I correct it, not yellow, but yellow. And explain, because the cards, they're mine. And she looks at me indignantly and asks, "Why are these yours?" Night. We are sitting with a guy in a car near the house. On the second floor, the husband and wife had a live showdown, from which it became clear that the husband had suddenly returned, and his wife was waiting for Yura. The husband took the phone from her, and they were waiting for the guest to arrive. Silent. A minute later I hear a tree stir near the balcony nearby, then a blunt blow to the ground. The husband goes to the balcony, lights a cigarette and utters a phrase slowly and epic, looking down, "Here is Yura." The wife decided to meet and warn Yura, and went out through the balcony. P.S. She is alive. The younger brother came home for the holidays with characteristic scratches on his back. For the second morning in a row, I watched my grandmother regret it. "Where are you like this, poor thing? How you managed to do this?" Well, not poor thing. My father has a peculiarity, he is severely undermined if something wakes him up. One day, returning home at night, I understand that I forgot the keys to the house. I called the intercom. As my mother later told me in hysterics, my father jumped up abruptly, as usual, famously overcame the barrier in the form of a mother lying nearby and, seemingly, was flying at full speed to my aid, but was treacherously stopped by a door jam. Now if I forget the keys, I call first on my mobile. I often forget the keys, but I have one, Dad. In any circumstances, in any mood and format of the conversation/meeting, if someone says romance, I automatically add two bows for the fuck automatically to myself. Lord, if only not to speak out loud. They rented an apartment with friends before, lived happily, drank, hung out, walked, and once bought a cardboard figure of one director in full growth. At first they loved him wildly and constantly took pictures with him, took them for walks and laughed heartily. Then he bothered us, and we put him in the corridor against the wall. And I can convey my fear when, once, being at home alone, I left the bathroom and looked at someone's legs in front. She screamed not in her own voice, raised her eyes, and Tarantino stood there, smiling mysteriously. I realized that my husband is not listening to me or is listening, but somehow it is not so. She is letting the flow of information coming from me through her internal sieve. I had beaten for half an hour in paints, painted in the details of my morning dialogue with my boss, and at the end of the story, I summarized everything that was stated in a capacious questioning phrase, "Well, aren't you an asshole?" After these words, my husband looked at me in bewilderment and said the following: "I did not understand, and who is this Nooni?" Nooni Mudakli, really, who is he? My dad sees it very poorly. Once he was relaxing in a sanatorium and brought a bunch of sprouts of all kinds of flowers to plant at home. When I saw these sprouts, nagging for about 30 minutes, because half of them were artificial. And when he informed his father about this, he unlocked for a long time and repeated, "This is a lavrushka. This is a lavrushka." And then he added quietly, "That's why I sought them for half an hour." Had a rest with the husband in Spain. For the whole rest we met 2 or 3 Russians, which is strange. The last day of rest, rain in the morning. My husband and I are drinking a vinyl in the room, packing up the suitcase slowly. 6th floor. We go out onto the terrace, and there is such a fog that you can't see anything at all, neither the neighboring hotel, nor the pool. Like a wall in front. And silence. I felt so sad, the last day of rest. And I scream into the fog, as in the cartoon Hedgehog. And after a second, apparently, a male voice from the hotel across from the hotel, "Bear Bear." Fearless.